Against Brighton on Saturday, Everton secured a 1-1 draw at the Amex Stadium. The Toffees opened the scoring in the second half thanks to a superb strike by Jared Branthwaite from a set piece, and Sean Dyche's side limited Brighton for most of the game, before the Seagulls equalised in the final few minutes thanks to a Lewis Dunk header. Everton made it a difficult and frustrating afternoon thanks to their compact midfield, organised press and excellent box defending. Brighton struggled to play through the middle of the park and their chances were limited, which has been a key theme for any side facing Everton this season. Only Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal, the top three teams in the Premier League, have conceded less goals than Everton this season. It's well documented that the Toffees would be higher in the table if it wasn't for their points deduction and the minimal number of chances they allow opposition sides to produce. It's a similar story for their expected goals against too, with only the top three sides giving up less chances than Everton. Unfortunately for Sean Dyche, their attacking production hasn't been nearly as strong this season. In the Premier League this campaign, Everton have only conceded more than 2 non-penalty expected goals in one singular game, a disappointing defeat away to Aston Villa, meaning they've been performing exceptionally defensively against some of the best attacking sides in the country. This video is going to focus on Everton's out of possession structure, which has brought them plenty of joy throughout the season, and was only minutes away from an impressive victory against Brighton at the Amex Stadium. Against Brighton, Everton set up in their traditional 4-4-1-1 shape, which can also look like a 4-4-2 at times during the game, with Abdoulaye Doucouré pushed alongside Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. James Garner and Idrissa Gueye would often go man-to-man with Pascal Gross and Billy Gilmour, giving them little time to receive the ball and play progressively through the midfield. Dyche's side would crowd out the centre of the pitch, with Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison tucking inside to stay compact in the middle of the park. When the Brighton centre-backs had the ball, Doucouré and Calvert-Lewin would lead the press, looking to block off the passing lanes into midfield, with Garner, Gueye, Harrison or McNeil picking up bodies in the centre of the pitch. Everton wouldn't always press high up the pitch and would sit a little deeper in a flat 4-4-2, allowing Brighton to carry the ball out of defence, remaining patient before waiting for the right opportunity to press. If Brighton were unable to find a route through Everton, they would often turn back and recycle possession. This was Everton's trigger to press higher in numbers, hunting to win the ball back in dangerous areas. Only 3 sides in the Premier League have more high turnovers leading to shot attempts this season. It's been an effective strategy of chance creation, pressing high and winning the ball back with plenty of bodies forward. With McNeil and Harrison tucked in centrally, this would make it incredibly difficult for Brighton to play through the middle into Gross or Gilmour. Harrison and McNeil would allow Brighton's wide defenders to be free in order to tempt Roberto De Zerbi's side into playing into these areas. If the likes of Lewis Dunk couldn't play through the midfield and turn back to try and play the other way, this would be another trigger for Everton to press high and attempt to win the ball back in advanced areas. It was a high risk, high reward strategy from Everton, and if their pressing structure was slightly out of shape, or Brighton manoeuvred Everton's players to create space for the likes of Gross, this was then when Brighton were able to play through the centre of the pitch, leading to opportunities created as they broke through the lines. Everton's narrow structure meant Brighton were often forced to go long, trying to pick out Lamptey and Adingra, who held the width for the Seagulls. This could lead to 1v1 situations out wide, but it meant Brighton had to rely on individual ability rather than passages of play to try and break Everton down. The pressure applied by the Everton midfield in the final third meant the likes of Gross were receiving the ball with little time to turn or to make a decision. This would often lead to wayward passes or opportunities for Everton to press high and win the ball back in advanced areas. Defensively, Brighton looked to match up Everton in a 4-4-2 out of possession shape, meaning they could go man-to-man on Everton's wingers and fullbacks. If Brighton were able to play into the middle in the first phase, the Everton midfield would ensure they had limited options and could only play into wide areas. This would then, again, trigger the press. Brighton would often turn back to try and create more openings and space for their midfielders, but Everton would once again crowd out the central areas of the pitch, making it difficult for them to play through the middle. When Brighton recycled possession and went back out to their fullbacks, Everton would then press intensely again to try and win the ball back. That was a tactical breakdown on Everton's out of possession structure against Brighton. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, please do like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment any feedback you might have. If you'd like a lengthier breakdown of the overall performance, head on over to the View from the Bullens Patreon page. The link is in the description.